Somebody asked me not that long ago, what is my favorite thing about Jiu-Jitsu? And I find this to be a difficult question to answer, but also not a difficult question to answer. Difficult question is because there's so many things that I love about Jiu-Jitsu that it's hard to kind of pinpoint the thing that I love the most about Jiu-Jitsu. There's so many, but it's also not a difficult question to answer because there are so many that I could give so many reasons and all of them would be correct. But the way that I'd like to answer the question is I would like to say, Jiu-Jitsu for me is kind of a three-pronged, healthy lifestyle in that it helps strengthen my body, it helps strengthen my mind, and also helps strengthen maybe the spirit or the connection to a greater good. So for example, I love Jiu-Jitsu because it helps me stay healthy, and it allows me to use my body in ways that many people are unable to for one reason or another. It allows me to get in touch with my body, to learn more about my body. So I think that's one of the things that I've come to become grateful for, is that we have one life that we live and we have one body, right? And it's great to, in this life, get to see and test what your body is capable of, to see how far you can push it, to see the limits. And sport, and specifically even Jiu-Jitsu, really gives us a chance to test our limits, to see what we're capable of. And on a daily basis, I'm using my body in a physical way, and allowing my instincts to take over. It's amazing. Like sometimes we're doing Jiu-Jitsu and you're rolling and you get exhausted and you get tired and you push yourself one more round, and then while you're sparring or while you're rolling, you do a technique that you just did it by instinct or you did it by reaction and it felt so amazing. That's the physical part that I love about Jiu-Jitsu. Like, it keeps me in shape, and because I'm in shape and because I continue to work on my physical conditioning, I'm allowed to have these moments of pure joy and pure excitement when I'm able to use my body in a way that is creative, in a way that's fun, in a way that's challenging. There's certain techniques in Jiu-Jitsu that are really hard for us to do, especially when we're not as in tune with our body in the beginning, that we struggle with how do I put my leg here? How do I move my hips like this, right? But the more you get these building blocks and the longer time you spend getting to know your body and training and how it moves and how to react, the more creative and the more fun you can have. So I think Jiu-Jitsu continues to become more and more fun the better and better you get. In the beginning, it's fun, and you start to, have a lot more struggles, physical struggles in the beginning, because either you're out of shape or you're using way too much energy because of lack of technique. People are smashing you, right? It's a different kind of fun. But after some time, when you're able to actually put into action these things that you've learned because of the techniques that you've developed over the years, that's when the physical aspect of Jiu-Jitsu is amazing. So the physical aspect is important. And for me, the mental aspect is what I love about Jiu-Jitsu as well. Like, it helps us to, what people talk about is problem solving. So we're constantly thinking of how can I apply techniques in certain situations. Like, it never ever ends. And that's what's so amazing about it. You might close one door, but then another door opens. You're constantly improving your game, thinking about techniques, improving techniques. And then for me, this aspect especially I love because I get to share this with my students and my teammates. I've been doing Jiu-Jitsu now since 2003, so about 22 years. And now I get to be the guide to help those around me, those in my dojo. I get to help them discover their bodies and help them solve their problems through Jiu-Jitsu. And it's amazing because like we all look at jiu-jitsu differently, and I get to help shine light on my students, and at the same time I'm always constantly improving my game as well. Like when I compete, I get to go back and study my movements. I think it's an extreme challenge mentally and physically, and I love the challenge about jiu-jitsu. And not only like mentally and problem solving, but also like you get to know yourself, your self-talk, especially when you're, especially in competition, but also in the training room. Like, oh, I feel fear because of this, or I feel nervous because of that, or I feel overly excited or aggressive, or there's this fear of losing, and all these different things that we get to expose in our psyche and then challenge ourselves and improve ourselves mentally as well as physically. So that's amazing. And then the third prong that I'd like to talk about is a sense of something greater than ourselves. So, that for me, it's the community that Jiu-Jitsu brings, especially here at Daruma Dojo. The community is what's important, and especially as I've become the professor and I've become the leader of the tribe, I feel like Jiu-Jitsu is more about the group. It's more about our teammates and more about us growing together and helping each other grow than it is about me and my jiu-jitsu. For me, that is my jiu-jitsu now, is how can I help and inspire others to become better jiu-jitsu practitioners, better people, right? Because as we know, through jiu-jitsu and through a community that helps us improve and help us feel safe and welcomed and a part of something greater than yourselves, then, we tend to be more motivated. We have friends and teammates that we want to work out with, that we want to problem solve together. Like, for example, this Saturday, about 20 of us went and did this local tournament with Solidarity BJJ. And half kids, half adults. But the great thing that I loved about the tournament was after the tournament, some of us went to lunch, but then even after the lunch at the dojo, I would discuss with the students. And in fact, the students would come and discuss with me their reflections on their matches and their reflections on the techniques and the applications and the strategy. And I thought that was amazing because, it's one thing to self-study, and that's really important. Like, you have a match, you film it, you watch it, you reflect afterwards. How can I improve? How can I get back to the training room and get better? But another thing, when you have a team that you can share this with, I had at least 6 of my students, maybe more, come to me afterwards and share their reflections with me. And I think that's amazing because we can help each other. And even if I don't give them any physical advice, I can be an ear to listen to what they are reflecting on and what they want to improve on next, right? Because when you do that tournament, it's a physical, mental test, and your technique will be tested, and there's going to be mistakes and learning points. And then when you come back, you're not alone, because when you come back to the mats and you train with each other, you get to grow and work on techniques together. So I think for me, that is what I love most about jiu-jitsu, is 3 things: the mind, body, and spirit. And the mind is the problem solving, the mental challenges and improving ourselves mentally. The body it's a physical workout. It keeps us healthy, and at the same time, we get to do amazing things with our body and get to test the limits of our physical body while doing jiu-jitsu. And 3, it's a spiritual aspect, which is, for me, it's being a part of something that's greater than ourselves, and that is the community of jiu-jitsu and the community of the dojo. Especially if you have a strong team, that you have a community-based dojo where, my progression and those around me progression is of equal importance. As a leader, I feel like their progression and their improvement and their journey in jiu-jitsu is much more important than my own, because that's how we grow together as a unit, and that's how I feel one of the main aspects of jiu-jitsu to me as a professor, as a gym owner, as a more experienced guide for the students around me. So leave in the comments what is your favorite thing about jiu-jitsu. I'd love to know. And if there's any other topics that you'd love for me to talk about in the Ask a Black Belt segment of our YouTube channel, let me know and I can cover those topics when I get to them. Thank you.